Stand by for the broadcast. Please note that the following views and the opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society. Nothing here is ever to be construed as medical nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on therealpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way, 7 days a week at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on therealpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network, and YouTube.com. Look for us at the Forbidden History Series. Coming up next. Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in South Central Ohio. First time for the broadcast in Ohio. In the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's the Forbidden History Series. The words that kill. The other lost writings. Symbolism. The movies. It's all right here, ladies and gentlemen. Coming your way next. Still time to tell your friends. We are recording, and so it will be good to go 24/7. We have our conference line open as well. If you want to join in and say hello or have a comment or a question, 712-432-8773. It's PIN number 179441#. Again, 712-432-8773. PIN number 179441#. Hope you tune in and tell your friends. Going to do a review of the ARCHKO volume and a reading of the letter of Pilate to Tiberius Caesar on his meeting with Yahshuah out of the ARCHKO volume. Most people are not aware of this being in existence. That'll be one slice out of the ARCHKO volume, a book review, and then the reading from the Gospel of Jesus Christ, the original Gospel, the best kept secret on earth. It's all an open secret, you know, and they just don't want you to know. Well, I do know why. I can't figure out why. I do know why. Because they hate our guts, they want to drink our blood, and they're through with us, okay? And that's what the Georgia Guidestones are all about. We talk about all of that right here. Somebody has to do it. I know we're gluttons for punishment, but that's okay. Better be on the side of light. On the side of the dark. Stand by for the broadcast. Tell your friends, won't you? Making history, being a part of history, right here on Desert Owl, your host. And thanking you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the broadcast. And we're trying to make it a better world, one day at a time. And the great opposition of darkness at night is as great as the black sky at night is it not? If you've taken a hard look at what's really going on and you realize that the people running the world today are basically drunk on power and on funny money and a whole lot more that we won't get into. I want to try to deal more so with spiritual aspects and lost writings and translations and words and things like that. That's what we're going to be into. And again, I am Micah Hill, Desert Owl. Everybody calls me Desert. And anytime during the program, if you have a comment or a question, we have a conference line tied in. Okay, I might not notice it on the chat line as well. I see I've got Angel Voice listening so far. No buffering. Thank you for the radio check, Angela. And music is a little loud, drowning you out a bit. Okay, thank you. And I thought I had it down already. So I'll have to take note of that. And, well, I can't get over it. I haven't broadcast for the last 4 years there about, and you get a little rusty, and especially when we're doing it 7 days a week, 6 hours every evening, producing programs for other people, you go through a bit of withdrawals, especially when you have a lot that you want to talk about. So since this is really our premiere didn't work out last night, I had to ramp up the stream today to accommodate more of an upload bit rate. So yesterday we failed, but tonight we're doing it, and so I felt it appropriate perhaps to read something that describes what I talk about. Okay, so in essence, I discuss the history of the world and how the unseen hand has been running it from the very beginning of time, who they are, and how they have founded all of the first great civilizations that are found all around the world. About now, there are processions, okay, and that's another story. But the ones that what I'm talking about specifically are the pyramid civilizations, about who the giants really were, and the ancient Aryan caste and slave systems, the priesthoods, the anti-gravity vimanas, the Earth-based misnomered UFOs, which are man-made, the control of all forms of communications, commerce, religion, mass media, publishing, pseudo-politics, etc., etc. It is the grand deception that is used to control all of mankind, and all instituted through the three main religions of the world in particular, being used as their grand cover. Their cyber code has been revealed to me long time ago, because I have become adept within the study of the ancient alphabets, communication, symbolism, religion, custom, law, cosmology, and mythology, not to mention the fallacy of today's political science, and pseudoscience in particular. I can also define the true nature of their warfare, their shell game of bringing up one civilization for their temporary use and then taking it down again for their next 500-year generational cycle, like dominoes, as symbolized by the classical phoenix. Every 500 years it flies back to Egypt, burns up, and out of the ashes rises another serpent. And the next serpent that's coming up is China, correctly pronounced Cana. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to know the law of the diction, and China is Cana. They wrap themselves all the way around the world, and they're back in the East again, after thousands of years of the greatest show on earth. I discussed the ultimate in mind control, an ancient art, and the financial control, the secret societies, and their blood occult rituals, and how they wage all wars throughout all time, through the nations that they have created, which are all imaginations, plantations, and mere corporations. You are the plantations, by the way. That's how they define plantation. It was the people who were coming over to America. They were the plantations. They have taken blood oaths to surrender their self-will and mind to their blind goddess who has demanded our blood from the very beginning of time. They communicate to their minions through the movies, TV, print media, while I can see and read and interpret most all of it. The king has no clothes. It all says that they are using us for our ingenuity, for our collective, constructive labor, for experimentation, the grand experiment. And in the end, they intend to kill us all. They hate our guts. They hate their mommy, sure, or at least her daddy. They have given us full notice of what they are doing and what they fully intend to do. While all of the general population, the sheeple, they merely go on, bah, there to be entertained. The New World Order is the old world order from the very beginning of recorded history. And whoever wins the battles writes the history. There is a major cosmic natural disaster that is about to happen on Earth, and they know it. But they are cleverly leaving us in the dark, hence the reason that they have built hundreds of underground bases all around the world, while they are leaving us all of the people to remain unprepared, uninformed, and above ground. So that when it finally comes, the mere 5% who will survive above ground, is it Nibiru, Nemesis? Well, we shall see. But the mere 5% who survive above ground will most likely then die from the weaknesses and diseases that have been generated from all of the poisons that they have been feeding us, not to mention Fukushima and other nuclear plants that will soon go. From as well the chemtrails and the fluoride in the water keep you looking at the floor, and tainted vaccines, fake food, engineered frankenfood, and so on and so on. It's a wonderful world, Mr. Smith, isn't it? They have enslaved us all by the clever means of deception, because we, most of all, are their cattle, chattel, property. Hence the word capital, because capital means cattle. It means the tally of the heads. Capital is the tally of the head, the cap, capital. It's in the words. That's what we talk about here. If you want to get on the conference line, love to talk about it. And because they merely wanted to harness our labor, that's all, what they always needed. Go to work, slave, which is what backs most of the world's currency through the birth certificate today. But they are all through with us now. It is written in stone, as it can be seen written in the Georgia Guidestones. To know the truth is to be empowered and to be prepared. We may not be able to stop what has been done and what is about to happen, but the innocent people, the decent people on planet Earth, they deserve to know. Desert Owl. I've written a copy of a dictionary of 2011 called The Real Da Vinci Code, Etymological Dictionary, and we're trying to raise funds right now for the first official book that I will be publishing, called the Book of Wisdom. And I'll read an introduction to it here, okay? But if you want to check out a sample of what the 300-page dictionary looks like, then go to therealpublicradio.net. Therealpublicradio.net, okay? And when you get there, click on Real Da Vinci Code Etymological Dictionary, and you'll see a sample of the 300-page dictionary. And then any size donation, we go to the contact page there, and you'll find the well, on different parts of their website, you'll see where it says donate. Just click on that, and it takes you to the PayPal. And then send us an email at our contact page, contact@freeamericaradio.com. Okay, and love to get you a copy. And it's got patriot issues in there. It's got law issues in there, spiritual issues in there. It's got the code. Okay, it was a prototype, so it's not a perfect work, but it is exhaustive. And it took me a decade alone just to figure out the style of the dictionary that is now in the Book of Wisdom that I will share with you in a moment. But first, guess what? A mass murderer has died in the last day, ladies and gentlemen. I can't get over it. A bona fide, controlling mass murderer, David Rockefeller, found dead in his home at age 101 years. Took a long time for that one to go. Billionaire, banker, and businessman dies in New York. David Rockefeller has died at age 101. Rockefeller was found dead at his home in Pocantico Hills, New York, on Monday morning as a result of congestive heart failure. I didn't think he had a heart. According to family spokesperson Fraser P. Sittil, the billionaire, banker, businessman, mass murderer is believed to have been one of the top 5 most powerful Illuminati figures in the driving force behind the elite globalist agenda to create a one-world government known as the New World Order. and on and on. I won't spend any more time on this evil, wicked, deranged character. But good riddance. Yeah, yeah. I grew up in the parking lot of New York City, New Jersey, and we used to go to New York, and Rockefeller Center was right there in the middle. Never knew what that was about. Rockefeller Center, who's that? And one day we find out he built a building called Twin Towers with full intent of taking it down. Actually, full intent. His watch on the cameo photograph at the groundbreaking in recognition of the groundbreaking of the uh, the Twin Towers in New York City. His watch is actually stopped in the photograph at 911 or 911. Okay, so it's an amazing world we have, and it's hard to come to terms with it at times because we thought when we came into the world that well, you know, my preacher, my politicians, my teacher, no, they wouldn't lie to me. They're telling me the truth. Oh, I know everything now because they told me the way it is, but actually they told us the way it isn't, and it's the greatest show on earth, and it is possible to unravel the great mystery, ladies and gentlemen. That's the good news, and so I am actually trying to get a caller generated program going because I'm on overload. Okay, the great spirit of light, Yahweh, mispronounced as Yahweh, but it is a V, not a W, and we can talk about that. Um, he gave me the ultimate download, and I pursued what he was revealing to me, and by getting books, I ended up with 2,000 books on the shelf and homeschooled, home church, the whole 9 yards, and just separated myself from all the confusion and just studied and read and read and read. I read an average of 10 books at a time and went into them sometimes as much as twice a day to do a section or a chapter out of each book. I was covering the entire cosmos and mythology, and which is relevant. Mythology, whether it's Greek or traditional Native American, is actually a real story. The word myth gets beaten up. Myth is used improperly. Myth does not mean something false. Your mythos is your tradition that you follow. And in the proper word, it would be for something that's not true would be fallacy. There's your Egyptian obelisk and the male sexual organ, the phallus, the fallacy, because that's what has been guiding these people all along is their own ego and their own flesh, and so therefore it is the fallacy of mankind. But mythology, as we see in the ologies, theology, all these ologies are dealing with a science. And so mythology is the science of our origin and of our past, who we are, where we are, when we are, and why we are, and also the metaphysics of nature. So myth gets beaten up and used improperly. What they do with all of us. Another example would be the word um, morals. People who are always talking about morals. Well, the truth is you don't want morals, okay? Because there's a book called Morals and Dogma, and you don't want dogma either, okay? And morals and dogma is the most, next to the Babylonian Talmud, would be the most wicked book ever written because it's the book of the conspiracy to destroy mankind. It's the blueprint written by Albert Pike in the late 1800s. He was in the Civil War South, also formed the Ku Klux Klan after the war. And in there he says, our goddess is Lucifer, doubt it not. And he wrote the blueprint for the three world wars that were to come in the next century. And in the third world war, he said that he would use Islam to destroy Christianity. And Islam was created by the Vatican 600 AD approximate. And just like they fabricated so many books, they also fabricated the Quran and picked some shepherd boy to be the model for their new religion to destroy the Eastern Christianity. And so morals. So as we see with people waging war on the planet, they want more, and they want it all. Even who is it? Who wrote the Progress? Pilgrim's Progress. I want to say um, um, not Paul Bunyan. I can't remember, but you know you've heard the book Pilgrim's Progress, and so in there, even one of the roads that the pilgrim went down was the wrong road. Was called the Book of Morals. So they knew what it meant back then, and so you don't. So that's what they want. They want more. They want it all. And the dogma is propagated by the dogs. That's the priesthood. The dogs are the priests, and the men who wear dresses. That's the Scottish Rite, wrongs, Freemasons, and with their secret handshakes and the grand hailing signs so they can get away with murder. And they're all following the Babylonian Talmud, and the judge is sitting on the bench, which is Latin for the bank. So what you want instead of morals is ethics, which is something they don't have. But yet actually a few of them do. That's the good news. A few of them do, and I've seen it. And they get in it for just business purposes, for success. Then they find out that they've joined some ancient pagan serpent cult, rich order that has everything to do with piracy and deception and murder and ritual sacrifice and you name it, child kidnapping. It's a very dark world. So I'm hoping to get a caller generated program because I can get on a roll and I never know what I might say next. But anyway, I'm gonna do a sample read of the ARCHKO volume. I think. Well, no, I was gonna just give you a glimmer of and I'm having a lot of fun looking at my computer right now. By the way, okay, I've got an OBS software editing program for YouTube, and this is my first time officially streaming and doing a live broadcast from YouTube. So I'm having a lot of fun right now, and juggling. It used to be easier on my network, but things are different today, and I probably should have got here a while back. So let me go pull up the book. Will you just stand by? And again, welcome to the broadcast. If you're just tuning in, I know this is being recorded and will be posted certainly on. Oh, you know, and I think I forgot to upload the last graphics. So I think you'll enjoy the graphics that are scrolling on this presentation. It's really quite a time we live in with all the technology. But basically, I have a lot of images on there, and what it is to get you thinking. Okay, I am not into idols or images, as it says in First John, to my children beware of idols and images, and all of those things, because they do tell a story, but they also very often represent the occult traditions, and we are the images that Yahweh made, Yahshuah, the one who made all things. We are the images, and the only thing we're supposed to do is clean up our act and to be perfect before our great Maker and our Redeemer. So the Real Da Vinci Code, Etymological Dictionary, and Thesaurus, a primer on the ancient Indo-Germanic mother tongue, is what I've ultimately become adept in, ladies and gentlemen. And so I tried to do the discovery of the Book of Wisdom in as a little primer and introduction into the Indo-Germanic, not going too deep into it. But then I have a dictionary in the back, and this is the book I'm trying to raise funds for, so that my associate can publish it, and we can then share it, first of all, with the people in prison, because they need this work, and then we will also share it with all of you out there. And by the way, this is program series number 11, because the first 10 audios that you'll see right there on the YouTube channel were an interview I did with Dr. Lorraine Hurley, and that was almost 2.5 years ago. And Dr. Lorraine, she gave me one of the best interviews I ever had, because she couldn't talk to me for one day. She had to put me on for a whole week, and then she really let me roll with it, and was really great. Being a medical doctor, it showed her discipline, and the fact that she was allowed me to produce a very important presentation, allowing me to create the model for the way I thought I should open it, beginning as the anatomy of a political activist and rolling into words on the next day, on the Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know. You just have to go listen to it, check it out. I'm still doing a little bit of upgrading there, but those audios are there now to listen to. So I'm going to just share with you the forward in the um, the Book of Wisdom that I'm about to publish. It's the Kolbreyan, meaning a collection of thoughts beyond the mind, within the Book of Wisdom, the oil lamp of truth, a breathing of the ancients by the anointed, major discovery, ladies and gentlemen, by the great uncle of Yahshuah, Jesus, Joseph of Arimathea, the great uncle of Jesus and the uncle of Mary, within the royal lineage and family of David. All of a sudden, I'm buffering a little. Okay, I am buffering. Thank you, Angela, and do let me know if it continues. We'll just have to play it by ear. Let me see. I can probably close my email, and that might help. Let me close my email account, and that'll be one less thing stressing out my computer. And I've got a couple windows I can close. Let me close these other YouTubes out. I probably should have done that right away. So, and one more I can close. We got to throw things off the ship now. Okay, must be getting hot. Okay, so our sacred written record using the ancient Indo-Germanic Aramaic or the Archaic mother tongue at 7:25 p.m. Okay. Using the Indo-Germanic Aramaic or the Archaic mother tongue, the Pseudo-Phoenician or Pseudo-Sanskrit, and I'll talk about that in the near future. The original Sanskrit, the original mother tongue. The very words that are etched onto the sarcophagus of Joseph of Arimathea in the Glastonbury, England, goes like this. To the Britons I came. After I buried the anointed Christ, I have documented, taught, and I have entered my rest. Joseph of Arimathea, or Yahshuah of Ramtha. Forward. Of all of the desirable things attainable by man, the assurance of his own immortality with a clear insight into that true purpose behind his own creation, with a true knowledge of his only road on towards that fulfillment of his destiny, is of the greatest import. 2,000 years ago, carefully etched onto hundreds of bronze sheets, is found the most important collection of books next to the Bible itself, and yet it is the Bible of the very man who buried Yahshuah, Jesus himself, the late and the great merchant of tin from England's shores, and Yahshuah's great uncle in the family line of King David, Joseph of Ramtha. 3 years after the return of Yahshuah, Jesus, from the grave, the royal family of David was banished from Jerusalem by the Sanhedrin, who almost took their lives, but miraculously they escaped and resettled in Britannia, in the area now known as Glastonbury. Although along with Joseph was Mary, the mother of Yahshuah, Yahshuah being her uncle, and there were about a dozen others who also fled with them. Glastonbury is also officially known as the first Christian settlement founded outside of Israel. Wonder why they don't tell us this. The most significant book that is found in the entire Kolbreyan collection is the one called the Book of Wisdom. It was written for a special purpose in mind. Because Britannia was also a foreign land, it was necessary to reassure the king Avaragas, as well as the common people, that all of them had come in peace, not with any intent of intruding within their own affairs, nor were they going to attempt to try and change their own customs, other than to introduce that greater light. And this is how the Book of Wisdom came to be. as it well describes the true character of this new people, while it became a common letter to reassure the people of the land, while at the same time it became an edification for all of the Christian community as a whole, those who were there at large. As well, on the island were a people called the Druids, and these were the direct descendants of the lost 10 tribes of Israel, who escaped from the Assyrian captivity in the east, also known as the dispersion or the diaspora. They were also waiting in anticipation of the coming Moshiach, the Messiah, and readily accepted this new faith. And that's my introduction based on my discovery of the story. And then the preamble. The sun and the many stars beyond our sun, earth, and the many planets beyond the earth are all held together by the thoughts and the great power of Yahweh. 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 God. Commonly we think of Yahweh as God. They are all of the great monuments that are ever presenting his never-ending radiant and glowing great light that moves throughout all time. All things that are living, that move, breathe, and vibrate have their place and their purpose all within the domain of our one creation of life. In the light of creation, man finds the greatest joy within the eternal halls of this great house. Yet do not attach your heart unto any earthly possession. Here a man may desire to live for 100 years, and he may even attain this. Well, Rockefeller sure did, didn't he? It wasn't worth much. But to what benefit are these extended years for him, if they do not raise up the soul, the shul, to a greater height? Here is where there will always remain a horror-vanquished region within the outer darkness of perpetual night, here within this shadow of the death, so that anyone who turns away from the light of the great sunrise, as it is found shining down upon the earth, will most certainly walk blindly within it. Here is where they will remain, down upon this lower plane, participating within the dark nature of a demagogue, the blind leading the blind, down into that darkness of deception and of destruction. The soul, the shul, meaning the center of knowledge, and the sun, without even moving, flies up on wings of the wind, being faster than the act of thought in itself. It stands behind and way beyond the natural senses. It is of that which knows, working within the things that are already known. As the etheric spirit, the etheric spirit breath of man is then carried down to the life stream of action, into that greater cosmic ocean of life, Ve'yah. The etheric spirit breath of the One is everlasting, all within a day without end. The One is near, and the One is far beyond the cosmic spaces. The One is within everything, while the One holds and contains everything within, all within his serpent hand. The I who sees his own self connected with all things, and all things connected with his own self, is conscious of being conscious, and awakened from the death of this illusion. He is beyond any delusions about this reality and is outside of the reach of the worthless sorrows. From the Book of Fragments of Colbreon. The superficiality of, or the illusions of this world could cause someone to believe something that is inherently false, even if merely to trick the mind into thinking that there actually is another reality other than the one that truly is. Desert Owl. A man asked Yahshuah, Jesus, and what about wisdom? Has it not been abundant in the world since the days of the great sages, of whom Solomon was regarded as the greatest? For even before him there was a very great wisdom. But has the earth become a better place for all of this? What has it contributed to the development of mankind? Yahshuah, Jesus, responded, that there has never been a shortage of wisdom in the world, but there has always been too little in the heart of man. Wisdom in man is not the same thing. Uh, Wisdom in man is not something seen as written in books. Rather, it is that which is conveyed only from the book of the heart. It is a way of life and of the living ones. All the wisdom of the past, held in very great reverence by some, was easier to write than to live by. Yet following it remains the only true wisdom. Wisdom, however, is more than deep thoughts of the wise, as it is the accumulated philosophical key knowledge of mankind winnowed by the winds of application. Nobility is an attribute of the soul, the shul, and no blood of the earth has this by any right of birth. Nobility demonstrates an ability to live and act according to the highest of principles. It is expressed in positive action, a positive outlook, and an overall good character, by a style of life in good relationship with others. That which ennobles a man becomes by his recognition of some thing to love and to strive for outside of himself. Nobility is the subordination of self for the highest principles. And let me just do a typo here, if you don't mind. I'm still drafting it. Okay. Jesus is one in whom all of the virtues came to fruition. His meekness and gentleness drew to him all of his neighbors. In his presence, even his enemies could become reconciled, as his presence alone brought tranquility to the restless and downcast hearts. In the streets, even the little ones and the youth followed behind him to see if they could only touch him on his hand. His reaction to injustice, accusation, and insult was a meek demeanor filled with compassion. He never looked to obtain or acquire anything beyond his own immediate need, nor did he place any value or treasure those things that he had. Underneath his gentle and warm exterior was a rock-hard fortress, immovable in determination, while autoimmune to both suffering and any oppression that came to him. Despite his own gentle nature, he could act decisively and quickly, and when he had any cause to lash out in the name of true justice and right, he never avoided an issue. The Book of Britannia, from the Colbreon. The eye that walks with the wise blood of the earth, man, will become wise, but a companion of the fool will only be destroyed. Proverbs 13:20. Original thought, transliteration project, and that's what you're hearing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is a sample of the original thought transliteration project, also known as OTTP. And this is the gift of the great breath of the wind of fire, what the great Father of light, the Holy Spirit, Yahshuah, has given to me to do. It's a big work, and I'm up to the task. It's just been a long journey of discovery and learning, and just right now, after about 48 years, I started studying ancient history about 48 years ago, and so literally it's taken that long to actually be prepared to put it in the dictionary and also transliterations of these lost writings that I'm working on now. We've been robbed. Basically, we have been robbed, and the objective is to restore what has been robbed from us. And by the way, Angela, if you could give me another radio check and let me know by text again, please, if the audio is still buffering. If so, I may decide to abort. If it's if what I did helped, then let me know, please, and that way I know if I should keep on rolling here. And I am hoping that as people come in and listen to these recordings, then they'll feel free to come by and tune in live. And *5 raises your hand, ask questions, and or if you have a comment, something you want to share. I have found that the listeners to my programming in the past network have been some of the most informed, and I've even had people from the Illuminati families call and be very how do I want to say it? Very friendly and very nice and innocent with no agenda. Because some of them, the family grows and a lot of people fall through the cracks, and so not all of them have the conspiratorial agenda going on. Looking for a radio check. I'm going to type into the bar here. Okay, and so we'll find out. I see it says red. It's not even going orange now, so that's not a good sign. I think I may be down for the count, and so this may have been another test tonight. We're trying to find the right bit rate, and it looks like we're going to have to ramp up. They've got all the money. I don't have any money, so we're doing it on a song, wing, and a prayer, and literally are going to have to put out some more money than for the higher stream rate, apparently, because it's not even going green now. It was going orange. Angela, if you're out there, if you could give me a heads up, text please, or on the chat room. Okay, well, I have a feeling it's buffering and not going through then. So I'll tell you what, we're going to call it quits here. This is another preliminary test of our broadcasting system, the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. And I want to thank you for listening and sharing and liking if you like it, and subscribe. We need 100 subscribers to qualify for a little more advancement and more features with YouTube, so that would help us out big time. And we have some things that we're going to share with our listening audience as well. We know everybody's struggling today, and therefore we have a way that we can help each other through our broadcasting effort. You can be a part of our broadcasting group and reap the benefit, okay? Because I've got 25 years of broadcasting behind me and want to take it to the next level in other radio venues as well. So we're just getting back in vogue right now, right here. I see it's come out of the red, but I'm not hearing from Angela, who is my engineer tonight out there. Angela, text me or let me know. Again, I'll tell you what, before I hang up, I'm going to just go to a song, and I'm going to try texting and see if I can get a communication going here. Okay, so you're tuned in to the realpublicradio.net, the Forbidden History series, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. Don't go away. Be right back. Series is coming your way 7 days a week, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube.com. Just do a search for The Forbidden History Series, 4 words. And don't forget, you can reach us at our contact page at therealpublicradio.net, therealpublicradio.net. So I'm not hearing anything, something may have totally disrupted, so I guess we're going to call a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to thank you for sharing this information with others. What we're going to be talking about here in the series is more important actually than talking about the New World Order, though we can talk about that too. But we're talking about our eternal being, our eternal nature, and the lost writings. We have some of the most powerful breathings, that's original thought, within our original thought that you will never hear anywhere else. A lot of people have figured out that the scriptures have been altered and the word tricks are being played, but they don't know how to define it all. And that is what I am doing right here, starting this evening. So thanks for listening and spreading the word, sharing with your friends. And let me hear from you. And you can always hit me up on Skype. My Skype is Free America Radio, all one word, Free America Radio. And you can, when you do the search, it'll say Kingsland, Georgia, but I am in Ohio now, so I'd love to hear from you, okay? I'm Desert Owl telling you, don't worry, if you want to know the future, just look for the Forbidden History.